And after one round, we have 663 remaining undefeated duelists. We still have some bounding duelists, and
we'll just be watching this until round 6.
So we have some players who've got those first 2 round buys because they were able to win that at their local OTS championship, and those UDS champions that, of course, have those 2
Shout out to UDS championships, which no longer you're able to participate in to get a belt.
An exciting second round here at our YCS Richmond, Mike.
Yeah, I think we will. We found 2 of the undefeated duelists that are using some really cool decks in the tournament, and I'm excited to see them in action.
That's right, and I think our players are ready, so let's go ahead and meet our players for our second round of Swiss here at YCS.
I can see Thrust getting limited or banned one day. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
First up, we have Vaughn. He's from the Bronx. His favorite card is Wind Up Rabbit. That's actually one of my favorite.
Shout out to Vaughn. I think I played next to him. He was playing against Mike Albanese at Nats, like round 4 or 5. Our boy Devan.
From Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo.
His
Great to
favorite
see
card
him.
is the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales, perhaps giving us a bit of a preview into what he's using.
I think it might be a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm also a big fan of Torn Scales. You know, every time I see these players' favorite cards, I'm like, oh, that's one of my favorite cards. Oh, that's one of my favorite cards. I keep thinking that, and I realize, like,
Billy's a true fan.
Like.
So it's great that they got him as a commentator.
That card, I remember using it, and it was just so fun always letting it leave the field,
And one of the best players.
knowing it's going to be right back over and over and over again, and your opponent just can't deal with it.
Right, that is really like advantageous, and now we kind of see that same kind of similarity I mentioned a little earlier, like with Age of Overlord. SP Little Knight has that similar kind of wind up.
I have like my 3 screens going right now.
Use it on any one of your monsters,
Stream is crazy, y'all.
No,
but Thrust should probably be banned.
Come back later, huge, and then obviously Wind Up Rabbit, Wind Up Factory. You're also be able to have mass advantage while you're using that effect along the way. But you know that was so many years ago, but still, you know, a card that was so impactful that we can still talk about it and enjoy it to this day.
Yeah, really cool. And it's not hard to see why SP Little Knight has become one of the most commonly used cards from Age of Overlord, because it fits into so many extra decks and has that lasting impact on a duel that you mentioned before.
No, yeah, definitely. And just being like that go-to, Link 2 is so easily made, can really out a lot of boards. I mean, SP Little Knight is the card a lot of people have been trying to get their hands on since that release of Age of Overlord. But we do see these duelists shuffling up. So we saw that his favorite card was Phantom Knight of Torn Scales. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of spoil. Well, you can kind of see some of his deck there while he's shuffling. Oh, there we do see the Torn Scales. He is on the revisited strategy. So Phantom Knights, they come and go throughout the years. You know, they've always gotten new cards. This time they didn't directly receive new support. But the Horus cards that came out of Age of Overlord is actually a huge boost, because not only are you able to put up like a rank 8, something like the number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, you also have options like the Zombie Vampire that can send cards from both players' decks to the graveyard. So you're going to be establishing more of these interruptions, but without needing your normal summon is the key part of that, because then you can still use your normal summon and have your whole Phantom Knight combos. And you know, the Phantom Knight's a Rusty Bardiche, one of the most incredible cards. I'm a huge Phantom Knight fan, so I hope we're going to get to see some of this action.
The King Sarcophagus also has nice synergy with the Phantom Knight cards, because you can discard them to send the Horus cards to the graveyard.
Both great duelists, both very nice
Knights are in the
duelists.
graveyard, you can activate their effects because they're there.
Yeah, that is a great point. I definitely can't wait to see how these strategies work together. This was a strategy players did bring to the last YCS a couple weeks ago in Indianapolis. I don't think we got any on the feature match, but I was definitely one of the decks I was looking at to try and get up there, because I'm really excited to see, and you know, already with a 1-0 win, but his opponent Vaughn is not going to let him take this win so easily. He also won the first round, but it looks like our duelists are shuffled up and ready to go, so we're about to jump right into it. They're drawing their opening hands. How many cards are in that deck? Is it 40? It looks a little bigger than 40, but I guess, yeah, it might just be the perception. Both players are playing 40 cards in their deck. With Phantom Knights, you never really know. You can go all the way to, we've seen like 53, 60 in the past.
That's true. Larger sized Phantom Knight
I had
decks
to fix
are
my
actually
mic.
really common.
But like I said, guys,
But
we
let's go
watch
ahead
round
and
2
jump right into
because
it. Game 1,
I really
round
wanted to
2,
watch this game. It's
YCS
Buffalo,
Richmond. It's time to duel. Now,
Buffalo
we talked
go,
about
Devan
strategy.
Rodriguez.
Vaughn's on the Labyrinth strategy, but there's a little more to it than just Labyrinth, right, Mike?
Yeah, it's Labyrinth with a twist. He's also using Resonator cards, which surprisingly synergize with the Labyrinth cards because they're all fiends.
Yeah, definitely. Those cards out of the Crimson King structure deck, really impactful. I can't wait to see how they're going to line up with those Labyrinth cards.
Yeah, and in addition, he managed to fit in a small engine using Diabellstar. and wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. So we'll see how all of that lines up. But it looks like Vaughn is starting out with Ariana, which is exactly where he wants to be, running Labyrinth. And perhaps just as importantly, starting out going first, which is where you want to be when you're running Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, definitely, especially against a deck like Adventure Horus Phantom Knight. It's such a strong deck.
If you guys are enjoying
really
this or you're watching the VOD, please just remember to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.
Really
Helps the channel. We're about to hit 2K subs.
Back to be able to try and clear up the board a little bit before you have to commit to your normal summon. But it does look like it's just going to be that normal summon. I think he grabbed Big Welcome.
He got Big Welcome, with it, which is a common play when you have Ariana on the field, especially, since you can return it to your hand with the Big Welcome after summoning a monster. And he does have a second trap card in his back row, which could be anything, but happens to be Welcome Labyrinth.
Yep, so he's going to be looking to get Lady and Lovely on the field here on his first turn. And so he's going to be summoning Lovely first. Or is that Lady?
That's Lady. That's
Lady. Lady first.
Silver Castle. So we'll see.
Anything here?
No. So now he's probably going to go Big Welcome.
He might Big Welcome for Coup Clock, return it to his hand, and then he'll be able to activate whichever trap he sets with Lady if he wants to go for a virus early on.
That would be really cool.
But we'll see where he goes with this. He may already have the Coup Clock as well.
Yeah, see, the Labyrinth Coup Clock is like one of the, I think, incredible cards in the deck because it really like lets you you're able to access traps from your deck with the Lady, right? But being able to use it right away, I wasn't able to see what trap he set there.
He got the Daruma Cannon, so So to the Big Welcome Labyrinth, he chained Lady Labyrinth's effect to set the Daruma Cannon from his deck, and he's just going to special summon Lovely Labyrinth, which allows him to return a monster on the field. As he resolves the effect of Big Welcome, he'll return Lady Labyrinth to his hand.
And now a monster.
Since a monster left the field by a normal trap effect, he can use the Lady Labyrinth's effect to destroy a random card that Devan has.
Yep, going to try and take a card out of play before Devan has a chance to use it. We'll see what he's going to get here. 6 cards, going to roll and match it with the number to make it random. 1, it's going to be that first card. Ooh, he gets to take a card out of the hand, but it's going to be a card that's pretty good in the graveyard. That's Ragged Gloves, and you're going to be able to banish that from the graveyard to send any Phantom Knight card to the graveyard. But now the Lady's going to come back down to the field.
Special summon Fenrir.
Yeah, I think Devan's deck is probably full of cards that are good in the graveyard, so I'm not sure that was the best hit, but Vaughn doesn't know that, obviously. He doesn't know what he's playing against.
He now knows that he missed a Fenrir, which would have been a much more impactful hit, but Fenrir on the field is fantastic, already putting some pressure on Vaughn. At least he was able to use those monster effects before the Fenrir was on the field.
That's for sure.
Is that ulti Torn Scales? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure that Vaughn plays any virus cards either, so I don't know if an alternate line of play was an option there.
True, and now he has Mseti, so he's going to be able to send Mseti and another card from his hand to the graveyard to add the King's Sarcophagus, and then he gets to draw a card. Nibiru is not going to be too helpful here in this matchup.
Oh, Vaughn uses Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, something I'm all too familiar with.
And it looks like it might be a quarter-century Secret Rare Ash Blossom out of the Rarity Collection that just released this weekend.
Silver Castle.
That's really pretty. I know that's a card a lot of people are looking to pick up, and that is the quarter-century Ash. I know I opened so many booster packs trying to get it, and I did.
Very nice.
It was nice.
So it always feels bad to lose out on Mseti's effect to the Ash Blossom because you
Ash on Mseti is pretty good.
But the silver lining for Vaughn is that even though Devan can use his Fenrir's effect, it can't target the Lady Labyrinth since there is a face-down trap card on Vaughn's field, so he banishes Lovely Labyrinth instead.
Very true. And now he's going to normal summon the Phantom Knight Torn Scale. And now you see the synergy with the Fenrir, and he's going to be able to discard it to try and send a Phantom Knight card to the graveyard.
But Vaughn has Effect Veiler to negate it.
And now Devan is thinking about his option. He still has that Ragged Gloves in the graveyard. He can banish the Phantom Knight Ragged Gloves to send any Phantom Knight card to the graveyard, but he has the boots already in hand. The big thing about Phantom Knights is you want to get 2 level 3s on the field, and then you're going to be able to link them away into Cherubini.
Thinking here.
Looks like he's going to consider his options. He knows that he has the Karma Cannon set, but no Cuckoo Clock, so he's not going to be able to activate it just quite yet.
The clock could be in his hand.
True. Could be waiting to catch him off guard. This would be the time I'd want to probably Karma Cannon before the Cherubini. I guess you could wait for the Cherubini. No, because you want to keep the Torn Scales and the boots on the field probably. So it's going to be tough if he doesn't have that clock, because this was an excellent opening hand here from Devan. No access to the adventure packages yet, but we do see Link Summon coming from that Cherubini.
In the Rarity collection? I forgot. That's nuts.
A lot of nice rarity cards we've seen on the
We
table
will
so
send
far.
Yeah, I think the collector rares are my favorite probably out of the
Ancient
rarity
Cloak?
collection.
Those are really nice.
The new prismatic style ultimate rare is cool. I do still like the ultimate rares that you're going to
target
still
will
be
be
able to find in the OTS packs. Because the OTS ultimate rare, a little different from the rarity collection, but it's not going away. The OTS ultimate rares are still going to be just as beautiful as you see on that kashtira Fenrir. The new ultimate rare is just something special for the
Oh,
rarity
shout out to
collection
Billy for
specifically.
clearing up
Those
that
quarter century
rumor.
rares really pop though.
Yo, Billy
Those
is
are really nice and
just
I
like one of the goats of the
watermark,
community,
but cool,
genuinely, because he was calling
Oh,
out
yeah,
the slow
the
play
25th
and
logo.
during Triff's game, the last
I love that.
YCS.
So it looks like when you make charity,
And then
you can use
I
the
heard
Sin
rumors
down,
circulating about the
cloak.
Japanese
And now
Ulti
we're gonna
OTS,
banish
the
cloak
ultimate
to
rare
add
becoming the
Stain
new
Greaves, and
OTS
since
ultimate
Phantom
rare
Knight
rarity.
banished, Torn Scales can
And he
special
just
summon
cleared that
back
up
to the
now.
graveyard.
I will not
And
modify the
then
global.
since the Phantom Knight was special summon, he can special summon Stain Greaves from the hand.
Looks like Devan has no hand, but fortunately for
Overlord?
him, Phantom Knight decks
Into
typically just use their cards in the graveyard and on the
Breaksword?
field anyway.
Very true. So he's going to go straight
summon
into
him
the Phantom
in
Knight
Miracle.
Breaksword. So he's going to use the
Effective
effect on itself
Breaksword.
to destroy itself and
Target
another card.
Breaksword,
Can't target
target
the
your set.
lady, so he's going to go after the Karma Cannon.
Breaksword effect.
So since he's destroying the Breaksword, he's going to be able to special summon back 2 Phantom Knights,
As
and they'll
lev-
be yep.
as level 4 monsters.
Indeed.
Play that I'm sure
Breaksword
Duel
engraves,
Links
targeting-
players are very familiar with.
Now going second, when Phantom Knights are going second and they're able to access a rank 4, there's a specific rank 4 that's pretty scary.
targeting-
It's not a rank 4, but it's Raider's Knight. Then you can go into something like Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, and then you can get a lot of damage out really quickly. So we'll have to see if that's what he goes for.
With no back row on Vaughn's field, the Lady Labyrinth is now vulnerable to effects that target or destroy it.
Let's go. Gloves effect. Foolish.
Indeed. See where he goes from here. He's going
I'll send
to
Wings.
banish the Ragged Gloves to send Phantom Knight Wings. Wings you'll be able to banish from the graveyard to special summon back
Yep.
a Phantom Knight, but it'll be banished afterwards.
Oh. Let's see. 3.
Let's see if he
Okay.
does go for that Arc
Calculations
Rebellion.
on
It would be pretty beefy. I think,
Okay.
oh yeah, it would be 47, 24 on Fenrir. That's 67, 71. And it only has 7,600. He's going to need to get more monsters on the field if he wants to have a really big Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, because it can negate the effects of all their face-up cards on the field, and it gains all their attacks. But it's the only monster that can attack that turn. But we'll have to see.
That can be huge.
He is
Overlay these
overlaying
two.
for a rank 4. It could be
Into-
Raider's Knight. Yep.
It is indeed Raider's Knight.
Raiders Knight effect.
Raiders Knight's a rank 4 that can rank up
Rank
into
up into
a rank 5. And
Rebellion.
yep. Here comes Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon.
Just
Wings
as you
effect,
predicted.
Targeting Breaksword summon.
Oh, there's the more
This
damage
is how
he's
I
gonna
lost
need.
my first match
use the
against
wings to
Devan
bring
in
back a
tier
break
format,
sword.
and he Arc Rebellion to me.
Negates everything, gains the attack of every monster on the field, so it's enormous now.
It's his
It
like
has a base attack of
signature.
3,000
It's so
already,
good to see him
so
out here like this.
24, 3K, 2K,
Yep, that's
16
74.
and 500.
That's 9,000.
Oh, that's-
It's 10,500.
That's
way more damage
nuts.
than it needs. Way more attack points.
Yep. Over the 16, that's going to be over 8,001 attack, and Devan showing the power of Phantom Knights with an excellent game going second.
10-4.
Arc Rebellion and Xyz Dragon is just one of those
You
cards that
share
can
that
really steal
game,
games if you're not
famous
prepared
last
for it. And Devan
words.
showing you, I can go first and set up a huge board, but if I go second and you don't have many defensive traps, even though you're playing Labyrinth, I'm just going to go for it. Definitely
Yeah.
not a strong start there from Vaughn.
Yeah, no. Normally, when you're running Labyrinth, you open with Welcome Labyrinth and
don't
Big
forget
Welcome
rolls.
Labyrinth. You're usually okay.
Yeah, usually you're able to easily get to the monsters, but
Yeah.
no way to get to any sort of defensive traps was rough for him there in that game.
That was the problem, and then the use of his lovely Labyrinth was not particularly effective because all it did was get rid of a Phantom Knight's card in his hand that he was able to just use the effect of.
Yeah, definitely. And like maybe that Phantom Knights isn't the most. It's kind of like a rogue strategy now. I'd say. I mean, it's been at the top tiers like for many years in the past, but definitely something that's kind of flown under the radar as of recently. Especially something like Arc Rebellion and Xyz Dragon might not have been on Vaughn's mind even when he used like that effect veiler on the Torrent Scales. Because I mean, why not effect veiler Torrent Scales? They're basically just giving them free cards. But kind of at that point, Devan already had enough resources, like with the Ragged Gloves in the graveyard, to where maybe just giving them the extra Phantom Knight card wouldn't have been too big of a deal.
So if you're watching this live right now, we're just waiting on round 6, I believe, to start. We are just watching the games from before that I missed because I was not streaming at the time. I wanted to especially watch Devan Rodriguez's round 2 feature because he is a Buffalo native and representing.
When you win the die roll game 1, you get to go first. Then you lose game 1. something like that happens, do you still choose to go first in game?
We have 6 viewers right now. What's up,
If
guys?
you're running Labyrinth, you're definitely choosing to go first, but you're going to try to side deck some cards in that might help you out here.
Yeah, maybe summon your monsters in defense mode. So, I mean, even just the normal summon being in attack mode was enough. But if he knew, now he knows that this can happen, he'll focus on maybe summoning the Lovely and Lady in defense mode. Maybe use the big welcome to return the Ariana and just not let that happen again. Because the Arc Rebellion is the only monster that can attack when he does use that effect.
Yeah, I think he's also going to be a little more considerate about when he uses his defensive cards. Like, Big Welcome Labyrinth isn't really a defensive card per se, but when you have Lovely Labyrinth on the field or can summon Lovely Labyrinth, it effectively does destroy a card. And I think knowing your opponent is playing with the Phantom Knights, you're not going to want to hit a random card in their hand for the risk of it not really doing anything, but you might actually just hold it for an opportunity to destroy a relevant card on the opponent's field. So he can play a little bit differently to use his defensive cards the best possible way, whereas not knowing what he was playing against.
He's kind of going in
first
blind.
Duel, he's going in blind. He's hitting random cards in the opponent's hand, and that
didn't work out.
Him out. So I think he going first and knowing what his opponent is using should give him an advantage in the second duel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then he'll have to fight his way through the third, but let's take it one duel at a time.
Yeah, can't worry about game 3 when game 2 is the next one up. But I think you're right about, just being more concerned. I mean, he really only drew, like, he did have access to Welcome Labyrinth and Big Welcome, but just those Labyrinth cards. There was nothing else. We talked about him playing all these other cool mini engines inside his deck as well. There was no, we didn't get to see the Resonators. There was none of the Labyrinth monsters like Stovey Torby or Ku Klok, which really would have changed the game.
Wait, there's Resonators in there?
He's able to draw some more variety in his hand to like diversify his options, but we'll have to see. Looks like the duels have side decked. They're shuffled up, and now we are about ready to jump right into it for game number 2. And they are almost ready. I can only hope that Vaughn finds just some more. I want to see more trap cards. I want to see 3 or 4 trap cards set, maybe 5 even. Let me get a lot of something exciting, because
Billy wants the chaos option.
Labyrinth deck if you just happen to draw the traps, but we'll have to see how it plays out here in game number 2 of YCS Richmond. Round number 2. Both these duelists won the first round. Devan now 1 win away from moving on 2-0 to an excellent start for the tournament.
Yeah, don't forget Labyrinth players can also keep resetting cards with Lovely Labyrinth effects and also set them from the deck with Lady Labyrinth, so they don't need to draw those trap cards to just keep that steady flow of trap cards coming.
Definitely, and it looks like we are opening up the same way, but this time he was able to access the Ku Klok, so this might be the difference maker from that game number 1.
Yeah, I think getting Ku Klok in game 1 could have at least gave him access to the Daruma cannon early on and perhaps helped him. But he's going to Ku Klok now, so that whatever trap he sets, he can play since Ariana is on his field.
Set. Yep. We will activate Lady Labyrinth. Yes.
He's using Lady Labyrinth's effect since he used Ariana and Ku Klok's effect. And there's the big welcome.
Results.
He's going to chain Lady Labyrinth's effect, so now he will be able to set a normal trap card of his choice from his deck. Let's see what he takes.
Now that's like something to know. If your opponent activates a trap card and they're playing Labyrinth, you're going to want to chain to it, because you don't want them to chain the Lady to their own trap card.
Right. Chain anything. You don't have to chain a card that actually interacts with the trap card like Ash Blossom. Just anything will cut them off. He's taking full force virus.
That's for monsters with 1,500
or fewer defense. It's in my side deck.
Oh, wow. It looks like it's in Vaughn's side deck as well, too. That's a cool one.
It's a pretty
not
good
one of the
one.
more well-played or known-played viruses, because it kind of came out a little later on, but definitely can be really good against certain strategies. And we'll have to see how strong it is against the Phantom Knight.
I find it to be better than Eradicator virus pretty often.
Okay.
Pretty often. I mean, it depends on the matchup, of course. But as he finishes resolving the effect of Big Welcome, he special summons the Lovely Labyrinth, returns the Lady Labyrinth to his hand, and it looks like he's going to go for a random card again.
Results.
Yep, let's see if he can hit the Fenrir this time instead of something like a Phantom Knight monster. Oh no, it's 1 again. Okay, that's also not great. I
That's not great.
I think he does have right in his hand, though, because I happen to see the right. So not as beneficial, but otherwise it would be a free card. You can just banish the Water Enchantress from that graveyard to add Rite of Aramis here from the deck to the hand.
Yeah, I mean, hitting that card, if he ends up activating the virus, is completely irrelevant, because the virus is the card he discards. So it's not the best sequencing, but if you had no other way of doing it, it's the way to go with.
So he's going to lead off with that big welcome.
The effect is good.
Okay, so he does.
Did he reset? So he's going to be able to get the coup clock back as well.
I missed him setting that with lovely Labyrinth's effect, but I assume that's how he got it back on the field.
Yeah, it's sitting right there, and he's going to chain the lady since there's no chains here from
That's fine.
Devan. He's going to be able to special summon lady to the field.
Okay. I'm surprised he's letting it resolve, actually, instead of using the
Gotta
full
get that
force
workout in.
virus, getting rid of the monsters that it hits, and then discarding a card from his hand.
Yep. Oh, I see what you're saying, waiting and then having an option to hit like a spell card
Correct.
or something. That would make a lot of sense. Looks like he does. He's going to summon Stovey Torby and then I think return Stovey Torby to his hand.
We may see him decline to use the lovely Labyrinth's effect in an effort to maybe use it later in the turn.
So he's going to draw a card here, and it does look like he is using lovely. So draw a card and destroy a card at random from Devan's hand.
So he is doing it. He might be planning to time the full force.
Like one monster's already on the field.
Yeah, when a normal summon is used or however else.
I could see that. I could definitely see that being in Vaughn's game plan here in this game.
You know, that's a valid strategy.
Yes.
Let's see if he can hit. If he hits the right, that would be pretty funny because he's just going to be able to add it right back with that Water Enchantress. No, hits the cloak.
Hit a card, yeah.
It's going to be able to add a different card. So now he has to manage the full force virus with him being able to add with the cloak. Cloak can add Fogblade too, I believe. But it can mainly just going to use to get like Phantom Knight boots. But yeah, even if you full force virus the Phantom Knight monsters, they go to the graveyard. You can still banish them from the graveyard to keep summoning and finding more Phantom Knight cards.
This is really cool. He was able to draw a card with Ariana and then special summon a Resonator from his hand with its effect.
Ooh, Soul Resonator out of the Crimson King structure deck, and he's also going to add the Shangri-La.
Okay, so now he has Stovey, Torby, Shankraglier, and Coup Clock is in the grave, and he'll be able to return it to his hand once he uses the effect of either the Stovey, Torby, or Shankraglier. I'm not sure which one he used there, but
I'm going to guess Stovey Torby just because it's on top.
Let's check if we are into the next round.
That's the way I would do it.
No,
They
we
do
are
the
not.
same thing,
Yeah,
so it
because
doesn't
like that
really
first round ended like 15 minutes
He sets
in.
Welcome
Like,
Labyrinth from the deck.
I mean, I know they didn't start
And
exactly
he'll
on
just
time,
keep up.
but like also,
It's only relevant if he tries.
I
to
think
use
we're gonna
the
be able to get
strong
through this game
Time's
before
up,
next
time's
round.
up.
Time's up. Coup Clock's here.
He really puts you on a clock because these traps just are activated every single turn.
I never thought of Coup Clock being so menacing.
It is. It's one of the strongest cards in the deck, I
Telling
swear.
me time's up.
Time's up. Let's see if he, I guess he just set Welcome Labyrinth, so the Coup Clock will let him use the Welcome Labyrinth this turn as well.
Or one, yeah, that's the one he set this turn.
Yes.
But he has not used Lady Labyrinth's effect, so if he activates one of his other trap cards and sets a trap, he'll be able to use that instead.
Very true. That's very heads up. But now he's seeing the right, probably Vaughn being like, oh, good thing I hit the Enchantress since he also had Ride of Aramis here in the hand. So Ride of Aramis here, it's been a while since we've seen the Adventurer cards, but it's going to special summon that 2,000 Adventurer token.
Too strong for the full force virus.
And then Fateful Adventure is going to be placed in the spell and trap card zone from the deck. Not worried about Infinite. Oh, he knows that's the full force virus zone, so going to put it there so he doesn't have to worry about getting hit by something like Infinite Permanence.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know where.
From the looks of it, that full force virus may not be particularly effective. And the best thing about it might be it allowing Lady Labyrinth to set a trap from the deck that he can activate thanks to Coup Clock.
Definitely.
If he gets a Daruma Cannon, it gets rid of the token.
Yeah, the token can't go face down, but it will be taken off the field.
Yes.
I was going to say it was the graveyard, but it doesn't go there either. It's just gone.
It vanishes.
It vanishes.
Time's up for the token.
Time is up. And now the Enchantress adds another copy of Right to the hand. This is actually useful because now he's going to use Faithful Adventure's effect to add a monster. So he's going to add Wandering Griffin Rider from the deck to the hand, and now he has to send a card from his hand to the graveyard. Probably going to just send that Right that he added, unless he wants to put a Phantom Knight card in the graveyard. Nope, going to be the Right.
You are right about the Right.
Indeed.
Effect to summon.
So now he's going to activate the quick effect of Wandering Griffin Rider spell summon since he has the Adventure token on the field. And that's going to provide a negation for monster effect, spell, or trap.
Now Vaughn allows it to hit the field.
To search for equip spell. Sure.
And yep, since the monster is summoned, he's going to be able to add Draco back, the rideable dragon.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a while. It is the rideable dragon. He is indeed rideable. He's going to be able to equip, he can either equip it or add it to his hand, and then he can target a card on Vaughn's side of the field and return it to the hand. Looks like he decides to add it to the hand with Faithful Adventure.
Thank you. Equip to the token.
And equips it. Let's see what he decides to return. He's not going to be able to target
Draco Bag effect.
the lady.
Targeting the set.
It looks like he's going to try and force out the full force virus now, so he can't catch him off on a different time. I might have gone for the one I
think
don't
the Griffin
know
Rider
instead of
here
the full
is
force virus,
kinda
'cause he's going to use it at
huge.
some point.
Yeah, and
But
it doesn't look like he's particularly vulnerable to the full force either at this point in time.
well, did he target the one next to it now? No, it looked. Oh no, he's going to chain.
I think he
Maybe he did target that one. That
I
would.
think he targeted the one all the way on the right. I just don't know what that card is.
Yeah, the one on the far right is full force virus.
So then he must have targeted full force.
Yeah, but it looks like he's just considering chaining the imperm for some
Okay,
reason.
so
But
he
so he's going to
yeah.
full force virus tribute off the lady.
the imperm wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, I think just he was maybe he was thinking about using the imperm to force out the Griffin Rider negate so he could chain the full force virus. But I think he is better off trying to force out the Griffin negate on the full force virus and just saving his imperm for something else later on in the turn.
That's could be. I'm not sure of everything in Devan's hand, but I see a lot of spells in there.
That resolves.
Saw a lot of spells actually.
Yep.
Doesn't look like
So yeah, it's just Fog Blade and Torn Scales. And then putting the Torn Scale in the graveyard, not a big deal since he already has the cloak. When he banishes the cloak, he's going to be able to bring back that Torn Scales.
Really quick. Sorry. To activate the full force there, we're going to issue a slow play warning. It's just a warning you guys are getting an automatic 3-minute time extension.
Yeah, just a little bit of a slow play warning here. Vaughn took a little too long maybe to consider if he wanted to chain the card there.
Resolution good.
But that's going to add 3 minutes to their clock.
had he used Lady Labyrinth's effect that turn?
Let's go.
I don't think so,
effect,
no.
Search. Yes.
Unless that's how he got the... No, because he said the
Slow play
welcome with
warning
love.
for the
Right?
Labyrinth player.
Yeah, because he didn't use
No,
welcome
he
turn
set the
one.
welcome with his Shindraglier or
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he
Scobie
definitely
Not
didn't
sure,
do it. Yeah,
so-
because there's nothing got reset to the back row. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate he missed out. I guess that could be
We'll
why he
search
was
for
contemplating
boots.
chaining the Imperm to
Torn
activate
Scales
the Lady
Some-
Labyrinth's effect.
Very true. So he's going to banish the cloak to add boots, and since the Phantom Knight was banished, Phantom Knight Torn Scale is going to return from the graveyard. And now, since he controls that Phantom Knight, he's going to be able
Torn
to
Scales
special
effect,
summon boots from the hand.
sending
But he's going to first
Fog
use the
Blade
effect to
across.
discard to send
What's
the
up?
Phantom
We have
Knight
6
card.
viewers right
Gets
now.
that
Thanks
Fog Blade
for
in the
checking
graveyard.
out my
You can
stream,
also
guys. We're
send
just
a monster
rewatching this
summon
round.
back like Ragged
As we
Glove.
go into the next round.
Do you
Oh,
think
it
he's gonna
looks
be-
like
he's looking
we.
for Arc
Oh
Rebellion
no, they're
again?
doing a replay right now.
Or the maybe or the attack.
Yeah, we're
points
just
on
waiting for the
field to
next
make it
round. We're
happen,
watching
to allow it to win
some
the
of the
game.
old
I think
rounds.
so.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4,000 just with his
Some really
adventure
banger
package right
feature
there.
matches
We
today,
know
and
Vaughn
all
has
these are going to be
infinite impermanence.
Yeah, so he used the
re-uploaded
break
to
sword
my
here,
channel
target that
eventually.
infinite
So,
But he would use the break sword. He
if
would
you
need
want
to
to
use the
say
infinite permanence
anything,
on
the
his
chat
break
will be
sword
right
right
Yeah,
there.
because then he can't get the
Break
fours.
sword.
Be nice,
Double
though.
fours.
Target break sword. Target this set.
So obviously he's going to chain it.
Let's see if that forces out the Wandering Griffin Rider.
It could, but that will reduce the total number of attack points on the field. So
Indeed.
that could
Break
also be
sword.
problematic for Devan.
Thinking.
Devan seems to know his deck pretty well here. I'm a big Phantom Knight fan. Spoiler alert, I'm a fan of all Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I always catch myself saying, like, oh, I love this deck. I love
Same.
this deck. Yu-Gi-Oh is so diverse. It's one of the only card games where you can just, when you're playing a different deck, you feel like you're playing a completely different strategy. Like, it's not like you're just doing the same thing with different shades. It's completely different, night and day.
It's true. There's
Devin's
really
doing
good
a
flavor
big
in
think
every
here,
deck.
Oh, definitely.
but it's a tough strategy, so I get it.
Resolves.
Devin decides he doesn't need to go for Arc
Yeah.
Rebellion, so he's going to let
Okay.
the Imperm resolve.
Neither of you received slow play warnings yet in the event, right?
No.
Right. It's a warning. Just, let's make sure the
Oh yeah, there's a slow play warning on that thing.
Make sure your stuff is on straight on your zone.
Yeah.
Did that infinite impermanence target the Griffin Rider or the
At least
break
it's tit for
sword?
tat.
Looks like
The
it.
break sword, yeah. It was Devin thinking about
Okay.
negating the infinite impermanence of the Griffin Rider.
Okay, so that will prevent.
I just
the
hate when
Griffin
slow
Rider-
play
the
warnings
break
lead to
sword
a
from being
game loss.
destroyed and prevent
I mean, like I get
Devin
it
from
when it
getting the level
happens,
4
but
monsters he would need to make
Let's go.
Raiders Knight.
it's just weird at Dortmund.
Yeah, but he'll still be
Droplet,
able to
sending
access.
break sword.
So he's going to use Forbidden Droplet, send the break sword to
negate
have
the-
and negate the Ariana.
Carry on.
So now he has a graveyard full of cards.
Gloves effect.
If he can find a way to go into Rusty Bardish and then bring back that break sword, he'll be able to destroy some cards. it's going to be about cleaning up the field now and trying to win with that Wandering Griffin Rider plus maybe like an interruption. So the Ragged Glove is going to send down Wings. So now he has Wings and Fogblade in the graveyard. He got to put the Phantom Knight Torn Scale back in the graveyard since it was used for an Exceed summon.
Targeting.
So now he's going to banish Wings, special summon back Torn Scales.
All right, there he is.
Fogblade effects.
Same effect, special summon a different one.
Boots and Torn Scales back to the field. Oh, he could just go for another Break Sword. I didn't even think about this. He can just do it again.
There he is, second Break Sword.
Now he's going to go for the Welcome Labyrinth.
Targeting.
That's so funny. I think that's why he was thinking. He was probably doing the math and adding up, making sure he could still get to it.
This is a tough one, actually, because if he chains the Welcome Labyrinth, which he can, it could add, depending on what he gets, it could add attack points to the field.
And he'd use that droplet to have the attack already. Or, well, I guess
which is irrelevant because now he gains less
attack.
or fewer attack points. But a monster being added to the field with the Welcome Labyrinth will increase the attack points of Arc Rebellion.
Indeed. So he doesn't chain it here, but I don't even think it matters. It's still 4,000 plus the Lovely's 25?
29.
29? Oh, yeah, that's still going to be enough.
So we're going to have 9,900 attack points.
Over 850.
Did I even add it to points? Let's see.
Yep.
2, 4, 7. Yeah, 99 plus the Resonator and the Ariana's attack points. So that's more than enough damage if this resolves.
2 plus 29. We'll go battle phase.
Attack for game. This is Phantom Knight power going second, really showing you how he can use the power of the Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon and Raider's Knight, two really powerful cards. And the worst part is if he goes first, he's going to have a good board also that you're going to have to deal with. So going first and going second, Devan really showing you why this deck is back on the radar. We didn't even get to see the Horus cards. This is just Adventure Phantom Knight. This deck has existed. This is nothing new. We didn't get to see any of the new cards.
Yeah, like Phantom Knights is one of those
decks. I still have my deck.
It's incredible
in sleeves. I would never take it apart because I just love the Phantom Knight strategy so much. But it's awesome to see them back in action here at a YCS level.
10K.
Yeah, very cool. I did not anticipate a Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon instant win 2 games in a row against Labyrinth. Particularly given how defensive the Labyrinth deck is.
Yeah, but just having that Ariana in attack mode is just so devastating sometimes. Like, yeah, that's what I was trying to talk about.
It's really good.
Make sure he doesn't have any monsters in attack mode because that Arc Rebellion will always be able to attack over it. Because it is the only monster that can attack. So if you just have a monster in defense mode, you're not going to be able to go for that same kind of game win. But unable to really get the Ariana off the field, I think there might have been a way to do it. Maybe if he
maybe if he held his, if he didn't activate Big Welcome Labyrinth that turn, he might have been able to use its effect from the graveyard, which would have been really tough to interact with, because Devan would have needed some sort of banishing from the graveyard effect to get rid of it. So he had some defensive cards that just didn't really line up with the plays Devan was making to allow him to win. So.
Yep, that's right. I mean, he had the infinite permanence with Break Sword, clearing the way on the way to finish off the game with 1 attack. But we'll be right back with the winner.
We'll get the interview and then we'll see where the stream's up.
Did dueling in the feature match affect the way you dueled?
I was definitely a little nervous, but once, I got in the groove of it, it was kind of like playing at locals.
Sounds like a good way to put it.
Awesome, that's the right attitude to have. What stood out to you in that last match?
Definitely Arc Rebellion. The ability to attack for a game twice was great. Finished up the game for me.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome how you were able to use it to just take those instant wins in both duels. Are there any deck types that you're looking forward to playing against this weekend?
I expect a lot of TEARLAMENTS. I hope I get that matchup a lot. I feel like I have a good matchup against it, especially with them milling my Phantom Knight cards. It's pretty cool. So I hope I play them a lot.
All right, so you're 2-0 in the tournament right now. You just had a dominating victory in that second duel. How do you feel about your chances of winning the tournament this weekend?
I feel like it's really good. I kind of wanted to go play tag duels, but I feel like I should stay in.
I think that's probably the right choice. All right, good luck in your future rounds. And I hope we get to see you again later in the tournament.
Thank you.